right, it is Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. We give you an audio-visual radio experience that you can count on anytime, any day. We say this on strong authority because we have the arm of authority. And guess who gave us that bragging right? You did. And we appreciate you. Well, this is the time for us to go conversational. Talk about politics and current affairs as we know how to, and put a searchlight into quite a number of aspects of a society that needs light existence, information, and not just information for any purpose, but a type of information that should bring about innovation and change. And that's what we are all about. That's what we are working towards, whether as individuals or we are working as a commune of people, or as a nation, or as a country, as a people. Now, my name is Uduak Daniel, and yes, a conversation that borders around the private radio station Shutdown in Niger State, a threat to press freedom, becomes what we'll be looking into this morning. Now, the shutdown of a private radio station, it's called the Badegi Radio FM in Niger State by Governor Umaru Bago, has sparked widespread condemnation from media professionals, civil society groups, and human rights organizations. Now, the governor's action is seen as a direct assault on press freedom and democratic principles. Previous antecedents of Governor Bago was seen when he had previously faced backlash for directing the arrest of individuals with dreadlocks, but he later backtracked on this directive after public reaction. Now, this incident also showcases the governor's willingness to take bold, albeit potentially unconstitutional actions that spark controversy. Now, this is just one amongst other controversies surrounding the governor. But in another, incident, Daily Independent demonstrated its commitment to press freedom by refusing to retract a story despite the arrest of one of its journalists by the Department of State Services. That's talking about the DSS now. And this incident as well is highlighting the ongoing tensions between the media and the government agencies in Nigeria. If you also recall that the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation weighed in on the matter, emphasizing concerns about unethical broadcasting or should be handled by the National Broadcasting Commission, that is the NBC, which is legally recognized regulatory body. Well, the ministry statement issued on Saturday, that's talking August 2nd, by the minister's special assistant on media, Rabiu Ibrahim, also highlights that the suspension of broadcasting licenses falls within the purview of the NBC as stipulated by law. So the minister urged all parties to remain calm, and he also said everyone should submit to due process, stating that the NBC has the necessary mechanisms to resolve the issue fairly and impartially. However, though, there has been some persons who has also said that the NBC has seemingly been quiet on the matter, and that is raising concerns about the Commission's ability to regulate the media industry effectively. However, the NBC has not once, not twice, shown that they are equal to the task in regulating matters that concern information spread as well as dissemination, right? Information dissemination. The NBC has done that. Honestly, it is no easy task on the shoulders of the NBC. However, because they have been saddled with that responsibility, they have indeed taken up they're not resting on their oars, and they've done the needful. Quite a number of times we've seen sanctions here and there, and these sanctions has not been as a result of witch hunt by the NBC. It has been out of the pursuit for standards when it comes to this broadcast media space. And these stations or these media outlets or houses, they understood that. And that's why we've not seen quite a lot of brouhaha coming in that direction. But then again, the Nigerian Guild Guild of Editors, that's the NGE, and the Nigerian Bar Association, they've jointly condemned the governor's action. That's talking about Governor Baguda, Governor Bago, right there. They've condemned this action, and they've also gone to to lean on the NBC's ability and authority to regulate or shut down broadcast stations. I mean, the Nigerian Guild of Editors also, in a statement issued as of Saturday, August 2, and jointly signed by the NGE President Eze Anaba and General Secretary Onuoha Uke, described the shutdown as censorship, plain and simple. Now, the Guild called for the immediate reopening of this radio station, stressing that any investigation should be carried out lawfully and transparently. But the NBA also weighed in, with the president, Afam Osigwe, describing the governor's action as executive rascality of the highest order. Osigwe also went further to emphasizing that the governor lacked the constitutional or legal authority to revoke broadcast licenses or shut down any media establishment, and that not only the NBC has the statutory mandate to regulate broadcasting subject to due process. Now, if we are looking at all of these conversations, it raises concerns or highlights the ongoing concerns about press freedom in Nigeria, where journalists and media houses are frequently subjected to intimidation, harassment, and even violence. If you also recall, in recent cases, journalists have been manhandled, and one journalist was killed in line of duty. These incidents actually, if you put it together in your mind, they underscore the need for stronger protections for journalists and media houses to operate without fear or interference. And as you well know, that it is common to say that the media houses, the journalists, becomes the fourth estate of the realm. Hence, they become like a hope for Nigerians to air their views, as well as give feedback to those and encounter. Sensitization, innovation, information, education, purpose. And all of this will re-engineer the society as we know it and help us to pilot the affairs of our country. Now, the big question is, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Enough is enough with all of these issues that we see every now and then, journalists being attacked and all of that. Well, this is not, it's not only peculiar to Nigeria, though. I mean, we see how journalists have been even incarcerated outside the shores of Nigeria. How they've been persecuted because they were exercising the right, their rights, our rights, to educate, to inform, not to incite, but to give purpose and direction. Where the first, second, and third realm fails, the fourth realm is supposed to uphold constitutional provisions. They're supposed to strengthen institutional checks. That's part of what we do. And protect journalists and media houses. This should be the things must be on to ensure that we got it rightly. But here we are in an environment where quite a number of people are saying that all press voice is even being shut down, where quite a number of persons too are saying that dissent voices are being shut down or even unalived, in a society where it does seem as though if you speak your truth, you're either deprived, reduced, removed, if you're holding a position before. Sanctioned, made an example of, and then it makes you seem as though you're weak or you don't know what you're doing in a society where most of the time, even the little efforts of those within the media space are seen as saboteurs, not good enough. And yet, with the little resources, under these harsh circumstances, my colleagues, my friends, my brothers, my sisters, they still do their bid to scour through and do the needful to keep up with the expectations and requirements of what duty calls us to serve. It also shows that where we live, where it does seem as though the rich, the influential, the powerful, they call the shots now. They can do and undo and say, we will get away with it. I mean, I'm the governor, I'm the president, I'm the Senate president, I'm the Speaker of the House of Reps, I'm the MD, Director, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I'm the, position titles and everything. And it's awful to think that they use the people who are used to enforce this act is either they're not well informed or probably they are being bought over. Why do I say that? If you're well informed as to what the law says, where your job begins and where it ends, the lines that must not be crossed, you might as well say, hey, I don't think I can do this. I can carry out this order. It's not right. But somebody will tackle me and say, no, that's not how it works. When it comes to the military, the uniformed men, with the police, is soldier go, soldier come. It's the first command. They obey. Even if it's the wrong thing to do, they still obey it and carry it out. Then what happens to their superiors? Are they not also well informed? Well, it brings a lot of questions right here and on here as to whether or not this act by the governor of Niger State is a reflection of what the Nigerian state is about. Well, this is the discourse we'll be having this morning, though, and I have my dear friend, my brother, my senior friend, I call him still, and that will be Comrade Gerald Okachi. He's going to be adding his voice in this discourse in a short bit, and help us understand just a little bit, what implications are there with actions like this, and should it be untackled, where we will be in the next 10 years. Should this matter be let to slide, what then do we make of the democracy that we have so fought for, and founding fathers that struggled from even before 1960 to pull us together and make us one? He's in the person of Comrade Gerald Okachi. He is a human rights activist, a public affairs commentator, a social analyst as well, and conflict resolution expert. Comrade Gerald, good morning and welcome to the discourse this morning.
Yes, a very good morning to you and to our beautiful people that are over there,
Right.
I have followed up your intro.
Yeah.
And while I was listening keenly, I was just shaking my head in pain, shaking my hands in disbelief, shaking my hands in worry because of what we have become as a people, what we have become of a people. You see, the approach shutdown of Badagi's 90.1 FM, based in I think Niger State, by the former governor that is always neither here nor there, because even in this station we have praised him several times because of his giant strides with regards to farming inputs, interventions, fight against insecurity, and so on and so forth. But then, those good lorries are oftentimes, and in less than 2 years he has been in office, being, demolished by abuse of power. The other time it was him slapping one man because of a prayer. They claim whether he's not original imam or not. The other day was if you are wearing dreadlock, you cannot enter the state, and so on and so forth. And now, he has dabbled into media suppression, intimidation, and harassment. Yes, one can factor certain things, that maybe the sealing of that place by the orders of Governor Bago can have some element of merit if you begin to look at it. Mm-hmm. What are the merits you will look at? Maybe, just maybe, to stop, because they claim that the station was inciting unrest and violated professional ethics. Yes, one can argue that preventing inflammatory broadcasts can preserve public order, especially aimed or amid security concerns in several parts of Niger State. But then, if you are to place it on ranking, you will see that it's got less than 10 over 100. And that is why you see both the NBA, National Human Rights Commission, everybody just coming heavily, even NBC that are regulators, even Minister for Information. Everybody is coming out to, strongly criticize such a move. It shows you the level of, I don't want to use the word Professor Dimkalu used, that is rascality. It shows you the level of abuse of power, when they say absolute power corrupts, it corrupts actually, and it's showing forth with this set of governors we have now. And that is where I think we are lacking as a people. If you look at the institutions of legislative or National Assembly, they have a roadmap of workshop, especially whenever they are about to do inauguration, where new members are elected. The clerk there always organize workshop before they induct you in or integrate you into the National Assembly, either as House of Rep member or Senate. You go through those workshops so that you know the pros and the cons. And that was the yardstick the current Senate Assembly is using against Natasha, that because she was in court, she was not in that workshop to know how to engage and when to engage, which is slightly so. So I think it's time the National Orientation Agency, the SGF, the Governors Forum, begin to look at, before every inauguration of May 29, once elections are declared, those governors elect, even the ones going for second time, should be assembled one place. They should be taught. Of course, I'm giving this as a form of a free information that they're supposed to consult and pay for. This form of, give them trainings on the things to engage or not to engage. One of the things that the area they need to work on is law and constitution, media freedom, penalties for executive overreach, independence of judiciary, civil society, NGO, awareness on because the level of things we have faced today makes us to see good governance as if only when you establish infrastructure, whereas there's much more to it. So they should be giving them trainings so that topics like constitutional duties of a governor to prevent overreach and promote rule of law, topics like media and civic engagement, with the purpose of respect to press freedom and participatory governance, topics like public finance and budgeting,
so
with the purpose of guiding responsible state financial management.
You're saying they should take them to school again?
Yes. Topics like human rights and rule of law to promote fair treatment and democratic behavior. Topics like ethics, code of conduct, and anti-corruption to reduce abuse of office and improve public trust. Topics like intergovernmental collaboration with the purpose of clarifying federal and state boundaries and cooperation. They should give them topics like security sector oversight to prevent misuse of police and vigilante system. We should develop topics that once you are elected, whether you are going for second term or a new governor, all these things should be taught, and then they should roll out consequences of failures of all of this. And those consequences should include, even as we are doing constitutional review now, constitutional review, we should include it. When you begin to behave in a conduct that we can classify as abuse of power, overreaching, executive overreach, or maybe rascality, as people may put it, your monthly, this what do you call it? This is sharing formula. What do you call it again? You did help me here.
Well, the monthly
what they share every month. What they call it again?
Constituency, is it? Or
no, the whatever they share to states was a result of revenue. Allocation. Thank you, my brother. Yeah, that's what I'm struggling with now.
Okay.
The allocation should be suspended if any governor violates some of these things. And possible collaboration they normally get with UNESCO, UN, USAID, DFID, UNDP, and so on and so forth. Should use it as a slap on them that they will suspend it. Any governor that is not in tandem with the reality, with the rule of law, with respect to citizens' rights. There are better ways we can engage in all of this, rather than the other day was a governor of Edo State restricting a citizen from entering the state, citing insecurity, claiming that someone died the last time the person entered without mentioning the name of the person. It shows, and this kind of things, derails our effort to ensure that we have state police. Because if we begin to see this kind of abuse of power here and there, only God knows what these guys will do when they have the opportunity of having access or maybe exhibiting that ceremonial name of chief security officer of the state. Now let's look at it in details. The Minister of Information rebuked the governor, affirming that only NBC can lawfully regulate broadcasting licenses.
Right.
And that is what it is. So I don't know where he derives the power. Have you imagined that if that Badegi's FM and the staff resist such a thing, what it will lead to? Have you imagined that?
Chaos.
Because this kind of thing is what leads to resistance. And tomorrow we begin to see those they used to, do this kind of abuse of power begin to cry their salaries have not been paid. So I watched a video of a soldier, claiming that Falcons worked for only 1 month and receive $100,000, and then they have been working for time. Sometimes their leg will be broken, your hand will be broken, ear will cause some, will be missing, birds will eat them. But they will be used for to execute this kind of rascality. Imagine if these guys have registered what the police that are serving under governor, vigilantes serving under governor, civil defense, DSS, name them, would have done on these guys. They would descend them badly. If they survive, they will never be the same again in their life. They will trump up charges that they attempt to kill the governor and be put to prison perpetually. No wonder you begin to see unions like NBA, NUJ begin to condemn this kind of crackdown of freedom of expression, referencing past incidents of repression under same administration. Organizations like Amnesty International Nigeria labeled the shutdown as misuse of power, a direct attack on critical independent media voice in the state. It shouldn't have a place in our society. It shouldn't.
Well,
and I hope the governor is listening.
Yes.
And the handlers are listening. The PAs that are OES member, that anything the governor does, they clap. Should use this opportunity to call the governor to order, because we have given him applause a lot of time, but it appears like each time he acts, critical thinking are not being put in place. You shouldn't bypass NBC to begin to make this kind of punitive decisions that is not in tandem with our constitution, that is not in tandem with reality, it's not in tandem with even the constitutional powers he has. You are shrinking civic space with this kind of decision. We have had repeated cases of journalists jailed, media houses penalized under Cybercrime Act in recent time under this APC administration. The ones I know here in Abuja, they struggle to carry out. In fact, any news you send to them or press releases, they will censor it. So I don't know where he derived the powers to exert the ceiling of when the even talking about even retrieving the license. I don't know where he derives such power. 48 hours is too long, because I understand that that place was sealed on the 18th of July. We are just getting to know about it. So only God knows what has been happening with regards to abuse of power in that state and other states.
Yeah, let me.
And thank God for media, social media. Thank God for people having opportunity to speak up. I don't know what a radio station such as that Badegi, I expect they have professionals. Immediately such a thing happen, and that is where I need to call all the private media houses to find a way to have organization houses, to find a way to have organization, association or union, even if they have to work with NUJ, the Joint Union of Journalists, or find a way to form a union, so that once such a thing is happening, because there's an injury to one, is an injury to all. If we allow such a thing to happen, only God knows how far they can go. Is stifling or suppressing media houses. Just like we are having this conversation this morning. Can you imagine maybe people who doesn't like the tone of our voice, or maybe things we are sharing, they can decide to come in a Gestapo style while you are still running the show, and they deal with you like what we used to have in the military days. So revoking of licenses, governors have no such power under this constitution we have today. And because they have immunity, it makes it difficult to even investigate or carry out a prosecution. And because they acted with regards to the office they occupy as at the time. If they leave office, it makes it be more difficult to file action individually or personalizing them when they leave office. If not, how can a governor bypass NBC? I don't know even how to put it. Did he obtain valid court order?
Well,
he violated the station constitutional freedom of expression, that's section 39 of the 1999 Constitution.
Yeah, comrade Gerald. Yeah, you've spoken extensively, in this regard. But then again, the media space have also come under fire for misinformation, disinformation, and all of that. Over time, we have also seen that happen. Yeah, it does not mean that the media space is without sin, so to speak. But then, as you rightfully mentioned, there is a constitutionally or lawfully enthroned NBC that's supposed to spearhead or look into supervising, all of these media, organizations and all. But then there's a question that I was asked, and I thought I should pose it to you. That this is a reflection of our society today.
Exactly.
You agree to that?
101%. Because it's only in our society that one of the fundamental criteria for you to be celebrated is to be suppressive, to be aggressive, to show lack of empathy, to be reckless. It appears like it's part of the rudiments, the ingredients of acceptability. Once you are humble, once you are honest, once you have integrity, once you have uprightness, you struggle. But once you begin to have dubious character, questionable means of identification, identify with forgery, recklessness, etc., you begin to see accepted. And the people begin to, even those that you have suppressed and mortgage their future, will be the ones to defend whatever you are doing in a manner that they will set you up against others. So it's a reflection of our society. You cannot even say anything less. And it's very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate.
So where do we go from here? How do we protect media houses? How can media houses protect themselves in this regard? Just to put it out there, right? There are broadcast unions. I mean, there's the World Broadcasting Union. There is the African Union of Broadcasting. There is also the homegrown broadcasting organization of Nigeria. That's the BON. I mean, there are organizations like that allow for private or media space to come together as one.
You are talking about Africa. I'm talking about Nigeria, because before you get to Africa, many of the journalists, including you, may have either have your 32 teeth remaining like 8, or maybe your leg must have been broken before you get to Africa. We are talking of immediate locality. Let every station, not just station, privately owned media houses have a way to form a union. Okay. Register it either under NUJ or under TUC or what you call NLC or what have you. You understand? It's good enough to follow due process, get all the papers, the licenses, open up a media space with the purpose of sharing information or what have you for doing business. But then it's better for safety reasons, for this kind of things, to prevent it, that you come as a group. Imagine something that happens since July 18th. Today is 4th of August. Almost, if not more than 2 weeks before it comes to the public light. For you to do such a thing, if at all you have any valid reasons, you challenge to the appropriate authority as a governor. You reach out to your counterparts in NBC. Look at the challenges we are facing. Or you reach out to the Minister of Information. Look at what we are facing in our states. I think these people are betting or aiding insecurity in our states. What can you do? They know how to tackle these things. They can issue query. They can issue warning letters. They are the ones that have the power to either withdraw license or to see the place. Or you go to court. These are optionals. It's not issue for you to just because maybe they criticize you or maybe they say the words you don't like or whatever. Governor may be very right that people like that may incite or cause threat to the security of the state. But you follow the right pattern, the right channel. It's not issue of you just, unilaterally because you are governor, everybody's hailing you, everybody's praising you, and the thing is getting into the head. It shouldn't be so.
But
we should introduce penalties for such abuse. Yeah. You understand? If such abuse, if you have, for example, private radio stations or media houses union, it's okay. We are filing a petition to UN, to ECOWAS, to EU, to all those NGOs that are donating to the states or working with the states, filing the same thing to the FEC, Federal Executive Council, filing the same to the Nigerian Governors Forum, file petition everywhere against the governor for such acts. I'm sure he will come down from his high horse.
Okay, let's take this message right
here. And will not happen again.
Yeah, let's take this message. This one is coming from Yusuf all the way from Wusaitu. It says, the action of Niger State in closing down a media house in the state is an assault on freedom of press as guaranteed by the Constitution. The governor has been notorious in violating citizens' rights. The other time he was seen in a viral video ordering security personnel to slap a cleric during the Fidua prayer for the late wife of the deputy governor. We also read in the media that he banned dreadlocks among the youth and ordered that those keeping dreadlock hairstyles should be arrested and forcibly shaved. He was also alleged to have confiscated people's lands forcefully for agricultural projects, the impact of which nobody has felt. The governor overreached his powers in closing down the media station because only NBC has the power to do so under the law. These actions ought to have propelled the State House of Assembly to initiate impeachment proceedings against the governor if our democracy is really working. Have a nice day, he says. Well, I should take this call now. Let's go hear from this family member. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Odwa.
Yes, good morning to you, Honorable Edwards from Apo, I believe.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm calling from Apo.
Yes, go ahead, Honorable.
Yeah, I really appreciate our guest. He's always perfect. You see, when we were against state police or community police, how do you call it? A lot of people were like, maybe we have something different in mind. The truth is that our governors are the problem. I think that immunity should be taken away from them in this constitutional review. Honestly, you can imagine what a governor I've been going through. I've been calling people from that state. There's no reason to even ban the session. It's just a personal problem with the session. This governor has been doing a lot of things that, in fact, he deserves not to go for second term again. I am not from Niger State, but I have a lot of friends that on my own, I will reduce his vote. There's no need voting. If you vote this man for the second time, imagine what he would do to Nigerians.
Edwards, yes. What do you think can be done? What should be done in this kind of situation? Because quite a number of people are saying this is actually the state of Nigeria, where the haves, the rich, the powerful, they get to dictate the law.
It's already in the Constitution. But what I will add is that if the government should, first of all, let me put it this way, first of all, do the needful immediately, or the session should reopen. Nobody will stop there.
Okay.
It's open because there's no constitution back. And one thing I want to add to is that our guests say everything in order, but there's something they say that is not. Mr. President has warned that nobody should arrest his critics. That he's the head of APC. So that governor, his behavior is not coming from APC. He said this in this APC administration. That statement is not good. It's the governor, not APC.
All right,
and APC are against the action. Thank you.
Appreciate. Right, Honorable Edwards, right there, trying to put things in perspective, saying that it's not an APC, conversation. That is, something that is peculiar to only that governor. But if I understand correctly, I think the guest has also put it rightly, where he says these things have been happening, over time. And it has also happened during the time of this administration. But, well, I don't think we'll have so much time, to jump into it. But you might want to give your reactions, Comrade Gerald, as well as your conclusions in this discourse.
In conclusion, just like I have earlier reiterated, there's need in this constitution review to remove immunity, placed on governors and their deputies. Perhaps that will be a wake-up call.
Okay.
Perhaps that will be the necessary tool for check and balances. Perhaps that will give citizens opportunity to file actions against them. Because as it stands now, it appears like the station or those whose rights have been infringed upon will be struggling to file action against the governor. And perhaps when they leave office, you will be struggling to even file action because they will tell that what they did there is on that office, not on their individual capacity. So I think also it's time the office of the secretary to the government of the federation, can coordinate national orientation alongside the presidency and agencies like ICPC, EFCC, Code of Conduct Rule, Code of Public Procurement, possibly in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency, to organize high-level training or civic briefing focused on public accountability and community engagement. And, of course, get donor agencies or international partners to support it so that when these trainings are placed, consequences can be outlined so that any governor or subnational or executive, either even at the local government, now that you are working on autonomy of local government, anyone that's found, abusing his office, overreaching himself, the donor agencies like UNDP, EU, and others can withdraw their support.
Right.
And the fact, the allocation they get can be suspended, just like the president suspended a governor in the River State. We can find a way to begin to do it because, as we stand now, every state governor has successfully pocketed the state assembly. If not, if the state assemblies are independent as they should be, this can even generate a constitutional impeachment notice on him. They can be the one to do check and balance. Mr. Governor, you are overreaching yourself in this area. You are not doing well in this area. Please withdraw. No matter how valid your excuses or reasons are, withdraw.
Okay.
Follow this angle. You can see there what you want to be done, but you can follow through this channel.
Okay, comrade.
You understand? Yeah. So if we begin to see these adjustments, I'm sure most of our governors will sit up.
Well, I want to appreciate you, Comrade Gerald. Time is not on our side, but thank you so much, far too kind, for joining the discourse this morning. And we hope that the needful will be done in the coming days as we follow this story and see to it that it comes to its conclusive conclusion. Thank you for your thoughts as well. We appreciate.
Thank you for having me.
Right. And that's Comrade Gerald Okachi now. He's a human rights activist as well as a humanitarian and indeed a public speaker. And he's quite a number of things, actually, adding his voice in the discourse already. But then this is where we call it the size of the show. I wish we was to do so. But as